We are back. We're covering World's End. Overall, I'm going to talk about all three matches because all three of them are positives.
Yes, they were. All three of them were decent matches, although Kyle Fletcher should have won.
Yes. Ospreay.
It was a very predictable at the very end there.
Yes.
I mean, we all knew that, it's like I would have liked Kyle Fletcher to have won this because they're kind of pulling the trigger on him a little bit.
Yep.
But Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada, that was very predictable.
It was. I understand why they did it. They had to get like a big number on there, but Kyle Fletcher 100%. I think it would have been really cool if he won the whole thing. But with what's happened later, I think I know what they're going for, and I'm okay with it. Even with Ricochet being there, him playing a heel
Flipichet just needs to stop, and he needs to go into the trash.
At least Okada won.
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher, once again, should have won. But and then the final match with Okada and Ospreay was by far the best one of the three, and I really liked that match a lot.
Well, yeah, it's
so
finals.
I can't hate it. I watched almost every single match from the Continental Classic, except for the ones on Collision, and these were by far the three best matches.
Mm-hmm.
This was an awesome match. I really like Takeshita and Habs. I like that they're still on Konosuke. He is very good. Powerhouse Hobbs is very good too, but I think right now it's not the time for Konosuke to lose.
No. It's
just not. He's really starting to rebuild this international champion.
Yep.
It's kind of that sleeper title where you're going to get quality.
Yep.
I could see Powerhouse Hobbs maybe even beating Okada for the Continental if push comes to shove. But as of right now, I'm just not sure what they're doing with the Continental belt. I mean, with the TNT, it just is on Garcia. I want Powerhouse Hobbs to win back. He had the belt, right?
No, he only had the FTR as far as I know.
I think he had TNT.
FTW.
I could be wrong. Anyway, he should have this belt. He should have the TNT champion because Daniel Garcia is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not back him. Let's back Powerhouse Hobbs. I like this match.
I still don't like Mercedes Moné at all as a human being.
I'll talk about that later.
But I did like this match, actually.
Between the two matches, I thought the first one was better.
Yes.
But this was a good match. I think because I already had an expectation of this being a good match.
Because they already did it once and it was excellent.
Well, I didn't expect it to be as good as it was.
Right.
It was like, whoa, this was actually like a really, really good match. But where are we going to go from here with Mercedes Moné as the champion?
I see, and that's the problem, is that now I don't even know who can beat Mercedes. At this point in time, the TBS champion is even elevated above the Women's World Champion, which makes absolutely no sense to me.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that too, because I'm going to have something to say there. Oh, I already had this. I put there twice. This was awesome.
Yes, I know that they're just rehashing something in New Japan, but there are a lot of people.
There's been enough time.
Yeah,
there's been enough time.
And I think there are probably some people who've never watched their matches in New Japan. So
I
doubt it with the audience that they have.
I like Omega in this spot. I hope they treat him as an attraction wrestler, not a full-time competitor at this point, to really keep him good. Peanut Gallery is yawning. But this was a great moment.
Yep.
I like this shot for all in Texas. I think
they're doing some foreshadowing there.
Yep. And I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is bad. Actually, I look forward to this.
Yeah.
This is going to be really, really good. I'm very happy about how this turned out. And the four-way was meh overall. I was as expected. But let's talk about the return of Adam Copeland and putting him in this spot.
All ex-WWE, baby.
Oh, of course it is, because they're the ones who draw, because ex-WWE.
Yeah.
There was only like a few outliers that draw better, or that draw at the same as ex-WWE. Omega, the Young Bucks, Okada, like they were never in WWE.
Right.
So they didn't.
And even then, half of them were in the WWE at some point.
Right, well, the roster itself, not the names that I just said. Okada was never in WWE.
No, but Omega and Young Bucks were.
Oh yeah, well in NXT,
way early. Yeah,
right. But they really made their name for themselves outside of this, right? But the return of Copeland was good. Putting him in the world title is really good because this momentum again.
And see, I was going to talk about this later, but I was very pessimistic about AEW in 2025. With Copeland returning now and being in the position that he is, I have a little bit of optimism. Not a ton.
Yep.
But I think that is a good world title contender. It's definitely better than Pockets.
Right. From Pockets to the Australian guy who can't win a match to the angry Texan who can't win a match.
Right.
So there we go. But, like I said, the Fatal 4-Way, it was a placeholder.
Yep, it was. It was pretty much a placeholder.
It's like, yeah, these guys are cute. Get their shit out of there.
Get them out of there. Yep. I don't want to see them anywhere near the world title picture. Copeland is back.
Exactly. Now, let's go to the negatives.
Yay.
Now, I'm not sure if this was a negative or not, but Ricochet deserves all of this.
Yes, he does.
Absolutely. He deserves every single moment of this. And I want to equate this, and people are trying to make the comparison of Ricochet doing this on purpose as character work, like MJF does. Here's the difference. MJF is really good at promo, and he's really good at clapping back on Twitter. Ricochet, every time he gets on there and says something, he gets destroyed.
Right, he gets L'd out of existence.
He gets L'd off of his phone
and
cries to mama. I mean, Samantha Irvin's actually doing something better than maybe. I'm pretty sure she has a bigger penis than this idiot.
Yeah.
But Ricochet he's getting all this hate. He deserves literally every second of it.
Yeah.
Trevor, you deserve this. You need to get off of Twitter. You need to know how to be a heel because every time
go find a therapist.
Exactly. Find a therapist, get a hobby, get swine flu, do something. I don't care because it's getting embarrassing. Also, can we just be honest with ourselves? He's been buried, and I am happy for it.
Yep, I am too.
Usually, I'm not happy about a wrestler being buried, but I'm happy for it. It's not because Ricochet is not talented or athletic. He's both. He is a good wrestler.
He's flip. He's a flippy. That's all he does.
But he's very athletic, and I can't knock him for that.
Yep.
He had great matches in NXT. He had great matches in WWE because they pulled it back. But he deserves all of this.
Yes.
Every single moment of it, he deserves all of it. So if you could say that as a negative or a positive, I put it as a negative because it's fun, but for me, it's positive.
Yeah.
This match was lame. Lame.
It was a forgettable match.
They worked hard.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit there. But Mariah May's experiment has failed. It has failed entirely.
Yep.
I don't know why. I don't get it. She has everything. She's really good looking. Her promos are not terrible. She is a good wrestler, but for some reason it's just not equating here.
I blame it squarely on creative.
Oh, I mean, duh. I just don't get it. And then Thunder Rosa just came out of nowhere. It's like, well, watch Collision. I'm not watching Collision. I enjoy my Saturdays.
Right.
Like I'm not. I covered Collision for a while, punk, post-punk, and the numbers were dismal. Nobody was watching my shit, so I'm like, fuck this.
Right.
And yeah, it was just not a good match.
No.
They did work hard. They really did try, but it just did not show up well.
Right. It was the weakest women's match. Even the pre-show match was better.
Oh, by a mile. It's weird that Toni Storm, who was voted the woman wrestler of the year, I think tied with somebody in WWE, and she is on the pre-show.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's absolutely it's gobsmacked by how absolutely
stupid that is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. This match was really bad. This
rivalry needs to end.
Zero heat.
It needs to end now.
Zero heat.
Well, it needed to end like a year ago.
MJF, he has lost all of his aura.
Yeah.
As like this, like the guy.
He's really not.
He won the match, and yet he was destroyed by 4 baby faces. That's not what baby faces do.
Right, baby faces don't.
Well, they got their revenge. Yeah, it should have been the other way around.
Right.
MJF is MJF should have had the group.
Right.
He's the heel.
It doesn't make any. I don't think Tony Khan recognizes the difference between baby faces and heels.
Well, the Undisputed Kingdom originally was the heel faction.
Right.
But then Adam Cole was hurt. They left MJF alone for some reason. Well, he had to go out because he had his own injuries.
This made absolutely. I mean, MJF is just no longer a world title contender.
Mm-mm.
Just no.
Nope. He has lost all of his aura. Adam Cole has not sniffing it at all.
No. Adam Cole will never win the AEW World Championship. I don't think he'll win the World Championship. I don't think he'll win the championship at all at this rate.
I mean, he's just bad. I mean, it was not good.
He's vertically challenged.
people, and also he's like 0.0 muscle mass. And it's horrible. And it sucks because like they could have done something really good here. If Adam Cole was the heel, MJF was the babyface, and they kept the continuity of the Undisputed Kingdom storyline, we probably would have had an awesome match here. But it just did not do it. And I think that's why it sucks, because it wasn't the match itself, it was a potential. It's just, God, it was so bad. And then creative control. We got to talk about creative control. I think any wrestler who has this amount of creative control, it should be illegal. Number one. It's ridiculous that Mercedes Moné literally can dictate if she wins or loses a match on this level. It's silly. Clearly, she's not a draw. There has to be a point in time when Tony Khan has to put his fucking foot down and say, you are losing.
Like, she's not she is a draw up to a certain extent. I will give her that. But she's not $15 million a year draw.
She's not a draw, period. End of story. The numbers do not reflect that. In fact, a lot of the times when she is on screen, the ratings go down. It goes down. I see it hour per, literally 30 minutes per 30 minutes, segment by segment. And almost consistently, even though she does have good matches, she's having good matches. I have to give her credit there.
But that's because she's trained by the WWE.
It's going down and down and down. She is not this draw. The people were crickets when she won. Crickets. People wanted Statlander. Statlander should have won. Actually, I think Statlander should be the one to take the title off of Mariah and rebuild the women's world champion.
Because that division's all but dead ever since Mercedes showed up.
And that's the world champion. This is the secondary champion. Make that make sense. It's just stupid.
It is.
But I did like World's End overall. I will at least give it that. I'm going to give it an Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
I'm going to do the same thing. And then on that note, too, the whole Death Rider storyline, we're talking about creative control. Because Jon Moxley has a lot of creative control over the Death Rider.
Oh, it's lame.
It makes absolutely no sense. I don't even know what the hell is going on with that.
They're being too obtuse to an extent of it being a parody.
It's
what is the blow off? When is it coming? There's no formulated team that's going against
there's no long-term storytelling.
I guess because Adam Copeland is back, we can at least maybe see rated FTR be the driving force against them.
But he doesn't. But they don't seem like the people that would go after you have to have someone connected to authority. Like, if Tony Khan were to come out and say, hey, I'm working with this team or whatever.
If it was like Kenny Omega, Adam Copeland, and
Kenny Omega
and FTR, that would be different. If it was the Young Bucks and Adam Copeland, that might be different. But because Jon Moxley, you're right, he has all of this absolute creative power.
Over at least this aspect of his character, at least over this storyline.
Also,
I got to give Moxley credit. He is trying his best, but he is not built to run anything creatively. Like, he is not, that needs to be left to the control of writers. Let's put it that way.
It has to be. It has to be away from the people who are actively involved in the in the performance side of it, because then they can just dictate on if they win, lose, draw, because their egos can't handle it. There has to be another person. There has to be checks and balances. This is just not it. It's just simply not. You have to earn the right to say about this. Roman Reigns did. Roman Reigns has a certain amount of creative control, but he has earned that right to dictate that because he is an unselfish, humble person. Mercedes Moné and Jon Moxley have been proven time and time again that they are not those things. They are not.
Anyways, when we come back, good and bad, just in general, 2024.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about what 2025 will bring.
Exactly.